Hello, everybody. Drew Dosek here with Verified Investing. And today we've got some charts to take a look at. These are market moving charts. All right, guys. So let's dive in deep to these charts. Got a handful of them. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. First up, Tesla, guys. Tesla making some big news today, pushing up through the top end of this declining parallel channel that's been designated by this declining trend line that's yellow that you see on the screen. And the bottom range of that yellow trend line was right here. Well, they came out with news today regarding their self-driving technology. The designs have been finalized and are ready for production. So investors are rejoicing, pushing price above this declining trend line. Big move for today. But notice we've already pierced this before back on March 11th and then retreated. So we need to see today a close above this declining trend line and then a follow-up move the next day that will secure this breakout and allow any sort of pullbacks to be buying opportunities to then test the next resistance at $426.26. You can see here that's a decent push, just under 10% to the first resistance. Next resistance past that is at 453, beyond a 10% push. Should we confirm a breakout here? First things first, monitor today's close. Then secondly, see tomorrow if we do have a push higher. And if we do, then any pullbacks are buying opportunities. Next up, AVGO. Now, AVGO here also big, huge push. It's been securing different deals left and right as far as securing chip manufacturing for AI data centers in the build out. You can see this explosion has really been going on with the deal made with Meta. This was around a $3 billion deal for Meta to confirm with AVGO and use their specific chips for Meta's build out of AI technology. So AVGO, look at this rapid ascent, guys. From this March 30th low, price on AVGO is now up over 34%. But you see what's happening. We're running right into the 50% area of this parallel channel. Plus, we're near term on the daily time frame overbought with a 75.93 reading. So we likely are going to need some consolidation in order to maintain and also continue with this bullish move. And just to show you folks on this inclining parallel channel, this dates all the way back here to December of 2024. AVGO has done a really good job of minding the top end and bottom range of this channel. All right, so now a couple things. We've gotten a bounce up from the low of the parallel. We've broken this consolidation. You can see here designated by this pivot high. We've broken above that. So there's a couple scenarios on how this play continues with AVGO. As I highlighted, we're overbought near term. We only have 1 day now trading inside the top 50% ever since back here in January 16th of this year. So it's just 1 day now trading in. So much like Tesla, we need to see a close in the top 50% and then a continued move up. But considering how overbought we are, I'm anticipating price stalling out here, potentially pulling back at a bare minimum to this top end range, right around $380.46. That correlates and corresponds with the pivot that was created right here on December 12th. I think that will be the first stop on the way down, but I'm going to be a little bit more conservative with this horizontal trend line at $360.66. I think that's a great opportunity for a pullback and then a bounce up to reattack this inclining portion of this parallel, right? And then at that time, it would be over $400 and could coincide with this all-time high resistance at $414.61. We'll see how AVGO plays out. If we do get a close in the top 50% and another close above today's price action, we very well may not reach all the way back down here. That's why I illustrate both of these levels. First stop right around $380. Second one down here, $360.66. You can choose, however, if you're an aggressive trader, maybe enter here. If you're a more conservative trader, then you could be targeting this range down here on AVGO. Next up, Microsoft. And the reason today, guys, one of the reasons I'm going through some of these big companies and also tech companies is because they pull the markets in their wake. They're very big companies, so they have a major influence in the S&P 500, thus they're market movers. If they're pushing up and testing all-time highs, the markets are also going to be elevated as well. All right, so guys, next up into Microsoft. Now, Microsoft has been beaten up more so than many of the mega cap tech stocks. You can see price was all the way up here, $555 in August of last year. And then you could see price has plummeted all the way down to $355, $356, broken the inclining parallel that extends back quite a ways. flip on the weekly chart so you can see that. This goes all the way back to October of 2022. Now we have a very nice week developing when price is getting back inside this 50% area, the parallel. But the weekly time frame really highlights the fact that this area has been in the past bearish consolidation before it broke down. You can see this price action on the weekly chop in this range. So this resistance at $413.16 is a serious test that Microsoft needs to get through. Now, one thing considering it is at a near the near-term lows on the chart, we're going to be due for a good bounce on Microsoft, one that I think eventually takes us well past 413.16. But what you want to see here, if you're a bull on Microsoft, you want to see price close in this parallel channel and then have another push higher tomorrow, potentially tagging this resistance at 413.16. Then any pullbacks down to the bottom of the parallel at 402.42 could be a buying opportunity to continue pushing up through inside this parallel at $440 as the next resistance for Microsoft. But a couple things need to happen. These are qualifying trades, so just be mindful of that. We're overbought, getting near-term overbought on Microsoft. So that was the aggressive level to enter. The more conservative level is designated by this trend line at the bottom range of this consolidation on the weekly that we highlighted. That's going to be at 392.13. That could be another level that is a conservative level or potentially an add level, depending upon how you want to play this Microsoft breakup. All right, next up, Meta. Meta also putting in some great moves in the last 2 trading days. Notice we were consolidating here, but it was only 3 days of consolidation. That's immature consolidation in my point of view. As you see here, it didn't really pause the RSI on the chart, getting extended and continuing up on the bottom of the screen. Currently at 66.91. Well, we're running right into resistance at $670.51, which is designated by this bearish price action activity and this red candle that was displayed here on February 12th. So that's the area to beat today. Very nice that we are above it. We'll see if we can close above it. Much like on the other charts, we'll need another close above to then start signaling we're going to break this consolidation. But as of right now, if I were in Meta, and I'm not, I want to see a pullback. I want to see a pullback after a close today back down to this inclining trend line, right around $653. That's a breakout into this trend line and a retrace bounce play up. I would be waiting down here for a potential buy, 652.59, and then an add level will be down here at the bottom of this parallel channel. Notice when the price broke into the parallel, it has not yet come back down to test the trend line in which it broke, and that trend line is the bottom range of this parallel channel. So a couple different ways to play Meta, as I described. I give you guys a conservative and an aggressive route. That way you guys can ensure that you do get levels that can make get you in the trade, and then have an averaging plan if you're already in it to pull your average price down for that eventual bounce up on that next support. Lastly, guys, we've got Micron. Now, Micron, look at this V-shaped recovery going on this chart. Micron has turned out to be a significant player in the build out of these AI data centers. Thus, you see the nice bounce that we've had since this March low. And this March low, we are now up about 44% on Micron. So great push here. No doubt we were going to be experiencing resistance right here at these previous pivots on March 18th. And that's what's happening today. So good thing is we got into the top 50%, but we have not yet confirmed in the top 50% for Micron. So any pullbacks here likely can flush through the 50% area of this parallel at $427.11. I would be a more interested buyer should price on Micron pull back down to this declining trend line right around $389. More aggressive route would be to buy amongst this consolidation right around 410 to 405 for another return to the upside. Now, as you see here with Micron, once we get through these pivots from March 18th, the destination for Micron is going to be the top range of this parallel channel above $535. So playing this, there's a couple great ways to do it, but it is on the verge of breaking out. It already has from this declining trend line, but be very mindful. Any breaks of these levels and support, you can simply stop out and then reevaluate if you want to get in at the next level of support, which would be on the bottom of this parallel channel. All right, guys. That wraps up 5 incredible charts, all of which are market movers. They're definitely swaying the risk on sentiment in the markets. Pay attention to mega caps, guys. They're critical for when they're ripping, the rest of the markets are likely going to push up too. They have so much weight in the S&P 500. When the S&P 500 rises, it usually lifts all tides and all boats. In essence, stocks in the S&P 500 will then likely rise with the tide. All right, guys. So there's your game plan and attack strategy for some of the market movers. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to have more of these videos out to you every single week with all our pro traders. We look forward to having you here with us. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys on the charts. Have a fantastic day.